Welcome to another episode of Heroes for Sale, where we celebrate all things great and geeky. And today we're going to be visiting the Writing on the Wall Festival at Liverpool Central Library, where we had, amongst other people, Charlie Adlard, who's the artist on The Walking Dead, and Tim Quinn, former Marvel editor. But first, we're going to go over to Lucy Myatt and her solo spot all about collectible comics and iZombie.
Hello comic collectors, I'm Lucy, the owner of Level Up, the retro video game shop and the comic book store in the heart of Liverpool. This week I want to talk to you about a new TV show that's come out, and it's iZombie. Now this is a very exciting story that's come out. This is the first issue, this is a variant cover, but it's basically about a girl who has become a zombie, and whenever she eats the brains of a dead person, she gets the memories and the personality traits of that person. Now, because of this, she starts feeling like she can contribute to everyone by discovering who, for people who have been murdered, discovering who the killer was by eating their brains and remembering. So it's a very interesting story, and everyone gets excited when comics get turned into TV series because they think of Walking Dead. Now, unfortunately, I don't think this is going to be the case with this one, purely because there is nothing similar except the title and the premise of the story. Basically, they've even changed the girl's name from Gwen to Liv in the TV show. She has vampire friends and ghosts and werewolves in the comic. They will not be in the TV show. They have confirmed only her as a zombie and a couple of other extra zombie characters will be introduced, but they are also not in the comic book. So it's very hard to point out any key issues that could have happened because they're probably not going to happen in the TV show. However, still, issue 1 has gone up, and if you can ever find it for under £30, I would definitely say get it, especially the variant cover, because it is a lot more rare, so I'd definitely say pick that one up. But that's about it, unless you want to read the story because it's amazing.
Well, that was great. Thanks very much, Lucy. Now we're going to go over to Ilan, the talented Liverpool illustrator, who's going to take us into the world of horror comics.
Hello again, horror/comic fans. I'm Ilan Sheedy, and I'm here again to talk to you more about horror comics. Something I've been dying to talk about is the fact that Xena is going to be in Ash vs. the Army of Darkness TV series. Okay, it's not going to be Xena, exactly, it's going to be Lucy Lawless, but might I be right in the first place? So yes, I'm going to talk to you about Army of Darkness, the comic series. As we know, if you're a big fan of the comic series, Ash carries over into various series. He's appeared already in Marvel Zombies, and he's appeared in Danger Girl, as well as series like Hack and Slash, and other literary universes like H.P. Lovecraft's Reanimator series. So we already know in the comic universes, he crosses over into other dimensions. But now in the TV series of Xena, we also know that Bruce Campbell appears as a character quite similar to Ash in his own kind of style, as well as Ted Raimi, who appears in the Evil Dead series and the Xena series. So the big question is all this interlinked in some really, really kind of exciting kind of way? Is the Xena universe and the Army of Darkness universe all tied up in some way? Only way you can really know is by buying the comic series. They're available still in all your good shops, and I highly recommend it. It's an amazing series. Nick Bradshaw is one of my favorite artists, and he captures Bruce Campbell's style absolutely perfectly, and the writing of the stories as well. I don't know, it may as well be an Evil Dead follow-on. So I highly recommend picking up the series, and you might get some glimpses of what happens in Ash's universe before the series comes out.
So that was the Army of Darkness and the horror comic world there. Now we're back with Aubrey, who's joining me to take us through the Spandex Supplement, a weekly look into all breaking news and all good things in comics. But this week we're going to be talking mostly about TV shows,
Yeah,
aren't we?
it was a big week for comic TV news, pretty much. You've got the announcements of the fall schedule in America coming out, and you've also got a lot of shows ending. So you can kind of give an overview of stuff wrapping up. So Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which was a show I watched, obviously Avengers 2, Age of Ultron, it kind of dovetailed into that.
Yeah, well, you've stayed quite loyal to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because a lot of people, I watched the first half of the first series and lost the plot.
Yeah,
right?
It was very uneven, and it was kind of hampered, and you can see that they've learned from it. The first year was struggled because they had to not reveal anything that Winter Soldier was going to give up. But I thought the first half, because they bracketed it, because they kind of do a split over Christmas, the first half of the second season was so good, when they were kind of the agents of no one on the run against Hydra, really had a lot of momentum. The second half, when they introduced the Inhumans, kind of felt a bit sci-fi TV show. And
I know a lot of fans who are obviously hyped up by the Avengers movie, they felt a little bit disappointed that it didn't quite tie in with the Marvel Cinematic Universe as well as it could have.
it was, because the civil, like the Captain America Winter Soldier tie-in was so good. Those like 2 or 3 episodes, the ramifications completely changed the series. Whereas this one was kind of like, they kind of just said, oh, and this is how Nick Fury got his helicarrier in Age of Ultron. And that was kind of the one tie-in. And it's the fact that Ultron was doing such an amazing end-of-the-world plot, you'd have thought that these people who try and save the world every week might have had some effect on that, but they never really did it.
Now, because S.H.I.E.L.D. are now fully back in control of things, and we've got a new character, Daisy Johnson.
Well, yes, so Skye, who's been in it from the beginning but was always called Skye, is now basically completed her arc. So they've positioned it that she's Daisy Johnson, who's from the comics, Quake, so she's got earthquake powers, and they've put her at the end of the episode, which is where it's going to go in season 3, basically in charge of what the Secret Warriors is. And that was actually a really good run of John Hickman comics. So she's in charge of a secret team of powered S.H.I.E.L.D. agents that are going to stay clandestine and do secrety things.
Deal and integrate with the Inhumans, which is another interesting concept which they want to get involved with the films, right?
Well, it looks like, because obviously they've announced that there's an Inhuman film coming out, and that's not for about 3 or 4 years from now, or it's about at least 6 films down the line. They've already introduced the Inhumans. They've been in like the last 8 episodes. She's an Inhuman. But what they've done is they've kind of, because they don't have the rights to the mutants, and because Fox have got them, basically you can see the MCU are positioning Inhumans to be the de facto mutants. So the people who are misunderstood, some of them are good, some of them are bad. They've got different power sets. Some of them look physically weird, some of them have just got powers but they look normal.
Yeah, we all like people who look physically weird, don't we?
Well, everyone on this show,
And it's going to feed into the Civil War, which is about to break into the films as well.
Well, yeah, obviously, I imagine it will. It'll be airing while Civil War's on, and I think they'll do exactly the same thing. They'll have a big double cliffhanger episode, which will tie in some way. But the interesting thing with Civil War has been loads of Civil War news. It's practically Avengers free. Like, the only people who aren't in it are Thor and Hulk.
They set that up right at the end of the movie with the new kind of Avengers.
Yeah, but even more than that, it's strange because it was originally Captain America free, and then it became Captain America Civil War, and it was Iron Man's going to be in it. And they've announced Black Widow, Hawkeye, The Vision, Scarlet Witch. They're all going to be in it. So it feels more like an Avengers free than a solo Captain America movie.
That's right. And of course, I know you told me earlier in the week that you're excited about who Martin Freeman might play.
Well, no one knows. He's been cast, and obviously he's a good actor. He's a big actor. Everyone's looking forward to, because Cumberbatch is going to be Doctor Strange. So are they going to have a Sherlock reunion on screen at some point? You imagine in the Marvel world they will. But no one actually knows who he's going to be. And it's the one bit of casting that they've not leaked.
Who would you like to see him play, do you think?
Well, I don't know, actually, because there's not many heroes left, is there? I think he'd make a really good Norman Osborn. So I'm hoping that the fact that they did that Spider-Man deal, he could be like a really malevolent. If they go the route of the Norman Osborn, where they keep him relatively normal and sane for a long time, and he ends up taking over the Avengers and taking over S.H.I.E.L.D. and turning it into Hammer.
Bring a bit of a dark quality to it. We must move on now, because we've got a little bit of time to play with, and I want to talk about some of the other TV shows, particularly Agent Carter and iZombie, which have been renewed.
Well, both of them have been announced as being renewed. I think Agent Carter was a really strong show. It was only a short show. It was only about 12 episodes, but it was really good. It was good to have a strong female hero. I think the production design on that and the wardrobe and the set was just incredible. It felt like it was shot in the 40s.
Talking points, hasn't it, about how female superheroes are not fully getting it's like a marketing ploy to get them out there and make them look good and develop the characters a little bit, but are they really hitting the nail? So they are with these characters.
It's strange, isn't it? Because iZombie is exactly the Supergirl trailer came out, which we're going to talk about on the panel later. And iZombie is exactly what a female-centric TV show should be, because it's kind of written like it's a lead character. It doesn't matter that it's male or female. And she's funny and quirky and intelligent and stupid and all at the same time. And I'm really happy that iZombie's been renewed, whereas the Supergirl seems to be marketed very much at women. And I think that's the difference, and that's where they've got to take it. They've just got to do interesting stories. There's enough female-centric comic books that they could adapt them, but they don't have to think, okay, we have to turn this into a female superhero.
Yeah. And the Agent Carter thing, that's an interesting spin-off, isn't it? You think it kind of would clash with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but...
Yeah, it's got the one problem is prequelitis, isn't it? Because you know where it's going to go. Pretty much, there's not much they can do that's secretive. It's all backstory and setup. So that, can they really string another series or another 2 series out of it? But I enjoyed the first one, so I'm going to watch at least the first couple of episodes of the second series. So.
And of course, we'll have more interesting things to talk about on the Spandex Supplement next week, because there's always new breaking things.
Always news.
Big events happening this week in comics, of course. Secret Wars, crossover, the end of Convergence.
Is ending, so then hopefully we'll have an idea of where the DC universe is going to be, where the Marvel universe is going to be after that.
That's right. Great. Well, please do come back after the break, where we're going to be visiting the WOW Literature Festival, all about comics. And we will also be having the Between the Panels talk. Welcome back to Heroes for Sale. Now we're going to go and check out what happened at the Writing on the Wall Festival at Liverpool Central Library.
Hello, I'm Lucy Myatt.
And I'm Ilan Sheedy, and you're watching Heroes for Sale on BTV.
And today we're here in Liverpool Library for the Writings on the Wall Marvel Mayhem.
Yeah, we're going to be speaking to Tim Quinn, Marvel editor and illustrator.
And Charlie Adlard, who is an illustrator who gets around.
He does a bit of stuff here and there. And Emma Vieceli as well, who I can't wait to speak to.
So let's go.
Yeah, let's do this. Hi guys, we're here with Rosa Murdoch, the social media and designer of Writings on the Wall.
So Rosa, what is Writing on the Wall?
So Writing on the Wall runs throughout the whole year, and we coordinate projects and work with the community. But in May, which is what we're doing right now, is the Writing on the Wall Festival. So we've got, this year, it's themed American Dreams. So the festival's running out throughout the whole of May, but we do plenty of things throughout the year. And it's just always stuff going on. And today is Marvel Mayhem.
Yeah, the events all sound huge, but you've got quite a few guests already today.
Yeah, the workshop's really filled up. We've got people from Manchester that come down, because we've got Tim Quinn, who's is just the nicest guy as well, as a pretty big hero in himself.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you've also got Charlie Adlard, who's reasonably big at the moment on a reasonably sized TV series.
Yeah, and he's just so like, I'll come down, it'd be great. He's friends with Tim, so he's like, yeah, I'll have a drink in Liverpool. And so we've got Charlie Adlard, who's famous for his Walking Dead, and Emma Vieceli, who has worked with Marvel, but she's also done her own web series called The Breaks, and she's got loads of stuff coming up and going on. So we've got a really varied panel for later on.
Oh yeah, I'm here at Writing on the Wall, which, as you know, is a literary festival hosted in Liverpool. But what's great is that this year they're starting to introduce the comics element, because really, whether it's writing or pictures, what we're all caring about is stories. And obviously I'm slightly biased, but to me I think comics are not art and they're not literature. They're better than both of them. So yeah, we're basically here celebrating stories, and I'm really chuffed that the Writing on the Wall Festival is actually sort of bringing in comics as that bridge between the writing and the art. It's sort of a little big industry, the comic industry, because in some ways it feels quite large. There's a lot going on. Once you bring in the movies, it's suddenly a high street industry. But on the other hand, thanks to the internet, and because the fact we're like a nomadic tribe of people who go to all the same conventions, so sometimes it feels really small. So yeah, I'd say actually it's quite easy to communicate, because you can just hop on Facebook, you can hop on Twitter. So actually getting to, converse with publishers in America is super easy.
That's as many books as I've got.
Almost.
I know.
Almost.
But I don't have a Batman door though.
You do not have a Batman door.
We're still here at the Liverpool Library at Marvel Mayhem and the Writings on the Wall event.
Yeah, we're still in Liverpool Library in this beautiful room. That's why we're whispering.
Yes.
We're halfway through the day and it's still going strong.
Plenty more to see and do.
Plenty more.
So come round with us and we'll show you some stuff.
Pieces of fruit, then wow, we've got a story. We've got something that will leap off the page. I cannot stress how important colour is in our comics. It can add so much. Brilliant. 50 years it's taken me to draw a banana. These are great. I could watch this all day. I really could. However, quick, stop, look my way. I want to add a touch of Marvel to this, not a minute too soon. So Beano so far, but I want to turn it into a superheroic banana. So, can you add 2 items of clothing that will turn it into a superhero? Shout out, please. What kind? Cape. Capes are great. Capes are great.
Mask.
Here I am, Tim Quinn, comic book creator. Now, wait a minute. Your faces are a picture. You're all thinking, hang on, where'd the other guy go? It's me. This simple device has been completely baffling so many girlfriends of superheroes for over 70 years now. I love it. This is why I love comic books, because they are insane.
Well, I'm happy to be here, and personally I like to attend events which are slightly different from the norm. It's great to do these sort of things outside of just doing a comic convention when you're just sort of sat there and signing for the fans, which is great, but it's also nice to change things around a bit. I mean, comics are 50%, the best comics are 50% writing, 50% artwork. So if we're doing something on comics, it's sort of apt that you need to have the artist there as well to talk about the other half of what makes a good comic book work. If you've just got the writer, which is fine, they can only talk about their part of it. It's not like a novel where the novelist can talk about the whole, whereas with comics, we have to, there has to be a writer and an artist. So I think the reason I'm here is to sort of contribute my 50% to the artist's 50%. If I didn't enjoy the story, I wouldn't be drawing it. No, they could pay me as much money as they wanted, but if I wasn't enjoying the story, I wouldn't be doing it. It's the story that personally keeps me on the book as well. So thankfully Robert's had me for 12 years, so he must be doing something right.
Wow, well that was amazing.
Yes, big shout out to Writing on the Wall for letting us come and film here for Marvel Mayhem. I've had a great time.
Yeah, an amazing event with some fantastic people. It was really cool for them to invite us here, and it was very cool for you to watch us watching them.
Yeah, so keep tuning in to Heroes for Sale, and we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, see you next time.
Bye.
Okay, so that was a great video reportage of what happened there at the Marvel Comics. Marvel Mayhem, wasn't it, the event there? And both Ilan and Lucy were there.
Mayhemic, yes.
Yes, Mayhemic.
What were some of the highlights? I mean, when I watched it, the overall feeling for the festival was comics are great because they get a lot of kids and other people into reading. Wasn't that a way into what they were trying to achieve?
Yeah, it was amazing because I got to meet someone who I personally love anyway, Charlie Adlard, and then we got to meet really awesome people that I'd never even heard of, like Emma Vieceli.
Emma Vieceli was absolutely fantastic.
She was the nicest person I've ever met, and I just want to be her best friend now.
Yeah, she's a manga and anime
Artist,
illustrator,
yes.
isn't she? She's done that Shakespearean anime thing that
We
I've seen.
we found out she did a lot more than that because you were telling me she actually created Artist Village.
Yeah, she brought the Artist Village to the UK, which was brilliant because obviously that's basically created a platform for independent artists to show off their stuff, which is amazing.
That is incredible. Yeah. That's reformed how cons are made and display new independent artwork.
Right, yeah.
And she did that.
Lovely lady. And also there was just a great turnout for it, I think, wasn't it? The library itself looked like a star of the show when we looked at the video there.
Well, Rosa, who was organising the event and the social media side of it, was saying that it was meant to be an age-restricted workshop up to the age of 25-year-old, but a lot of older people went there and demanded that they wanted to be a part of it, which if I'd known, I would have demanded I could have been a part of it. So she actually just opened it up to all ages. So it was amazing to see that it wasn't restricted. Everyone wanted to be a part of this, and it was a really good turnout.
Yeah, Writing on the Wall Festival's been going on for quite a while now, and we'd like to see it come back with some more comic goodness next year, I'm sure. You also said there was a lot of girls at the festival, which is something we keep hitting on here, that there's a growing readership for comics amongst girls.
It was still predominantly male, but there was a lot more girls than I expected, a lot younger female kids who were there. I didn't expect to be that many young children to be there. And
who were into zombie comics particularly.
Massively. I mean, there was a bunch of girls who were obsessively proper fangirling over Walking Dead. They just loved it. They couldn't get enough of it.
I know, being a horror.
There was a 6-year-old as well with a copy of Metal Hammer, which was brilliant. And it had a Charlie Adlard cover kind of thing, and it was just such a great kind of little thing to see that. So.
And you had a special moment, didn't you, Ilan, being a horror comic
I always have
specialist?
special moments.
What, didn't somebody give you something in particular? It was interesting. A woman gave you
A baby.
A baby.
A baby. Yeah, I had no idea where you were going with that. Then. I was just standing there, and someone said, "Look after this for a bit."
Yeah.
And then I had a baby.
Yeah, but speaking about girls and in comics and everything and the diversity, one thing that's happened this week is that we've seen the Supergirl trailer. I know you've got some divisive opinions on that as to what have they done with it. It seems
How
to
long
be.
Have we got?
Well, it seems to be. We've got a couple of minutes at least. I'm sure.
Not enough. Not
before I
enough.
have to finish, but we've. It seems to be Sex in the City meets Supergirl.
I think one person described it best when they said it's Ugly Betty with superpowers.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I understand where they're going with a lot of these things, but the one thing that made me so angry, the first time I watched the trailer, the first thing I thought was, well, I don't need to watch the season now. It's a massive spoiler.
Was it 6 minutes long?
It was 6 minutes.
Yeah, it was very, very
Which
long.
basically showed you the entire
Story
character
arc, really. Yeah.
It showed you when she first uses her powers to save her friend. It shows you the evolution of the costume being made. It shows you her revealing that she has superpowers to friends. It shows you everything that you want to be invested in with this character before you see them. It meant nothing to you watching them on this trailer, and I went, well, I don't care now.
Yeah, it was kind of like rom-com, and I was listening to the music, and it just didn't seem to fit a lot. And then a Calista Flockhart turns up, looking like, Harrison Ford's just dug her up from his personal grave in the back for like 2 minutes.
What?
This is what I thought.
Let's go back on that one. Say that again.
She was the best part of the trailer, and I will have you take that back.
She was Ally McBeal.
It's a long time since Ally McBeal, and I think she was trying to that seemed to be the best part of the trailer for me as well. There wasn't very much. There was like 30 seconds of it, and it was very Devil Wears Prada-esque.
Yes, she was
side of
very
that thing.
Meryl Streep in that, and it annoyed me that she was in it in this what she did in it as well, because she had like this little mini rant about how girls are great, they're better than women, girls are awesome, girl power, and she didn't need to do that. You don't need to be so obvious about what they're trying to convey here. They should have shown it, not said it. And it just didn't
They didn't. They went a step further, I think, and they actually spelt a lot of it out. I mean, they made each character that appeared in that trailer represents a cliche and a trope kind of thing. You've got kind of like the I don't know. I don't want to say it because I don't know what time the show is on. But Ally McBeal is playing an opinionatedly aggressive woman.
Right.
I don't know. Is that the right thing to say?
So it totally missed the mark, really, doesn't it, for what we're looking for a character like that? And again, it's another thing is how DC might be letting the side down, really.
I think the trailers let it down.
Yeah.
There's still hope because there are good parts to it, but I think the trailers doesn't know what it wants.
That's
I
right.
think the funniest thing about it as well.
He's killed Iron Man.
The funniest thing about it as well, is that obviously the Scarlett Johansson kind of joke parody.
That's right. It was.
Avengers
It was like
movie.
that.
The trailer came out, and it actually looked exactly like.
Okay,
the
we're going to have
Supergirl.
to wrap things up there because we're out of time, I'm afraid, and we just hope that Calista Flockhart doesn't watch this or anybody. Join us again on Heroes for Sale next time, where we'll be talking about the world of comics. For extra videos, you can check us out online. Search YouTube, Heroes for Sale, Liverpool. Who shot ya?